Hi everyone, today we are at Castle Acre Priory. Let's have a look round these amazing ruins. The Priory is located in the village of Castle Acre, which is just north of the town of Swaffham in Norfolk. The story of the Priory begins in the early 1070s. William de Warenne was a Norman knight who fought alongside William I at the Battle of Hastings. He was rewarded with several estates, including Lewes in Sussex and Conisbrough in Yorkshire. William had already founded the first Cluniac monastery in Lewes, the main seat of his family. Having already built a castle at Acre in Norfolk, between 1081 and 1085 he brought a small number of monks from Lewes there and began work on a priory within the walls of his castle. William died in 1088, and the following year his son, William II de Warenne, 2nd Earl of Surrey, granted the monks a new site within what was the castle grounds, as the original site proved to be too small and inconvenient for the monks. The new site, beside the River Nar, included, according to the original charter, 2 orchards and all the plough land from the said orchards up to my castle, in which they founded their church, because that same place, in which they now live, is too confined and highly unsuitable for the dwellings of monks. The construction of the priory was slow. It was 57 years before the church was consecrated, and a further 20 years before the west end was completed. The monks would most likely have lived in timber buildings until the rest of the priory was completed over the next half a century. Then, over the next 2 centuries, the priory continued to receive endowments from the de Warennes, the last of which was made by the 6th Earl in 1315. Much of the money went on building works, as well as helping the poor, hospitality, and the upkeep of up to 36 monks and a large number of servants. Like many priories in England that were founded by the Cluniac and other French orders, Castle Acre suffered from restrictions and punitive taxation during the wars with France in the late 13th and 14th centuries. The priory finally secured English status in 1325, and with the restrictions lifted, the monks were able to make significant improvements to the church and later to the prior's lodging, as well as rebuilding the fine gatehouse we saw at the start of the video. The end came, as with approximately 800 other monasteries built in England over the previous almost 1,000 years, from Henry VIII's suppression of the monasteries in the late 1530s. At Castle Acre, the deed of surrender was signed on the 22nd of November 1537 by the prior Thomas Malling. He, along with the 10 remaining monks, were likely granted small pensions, and they may have become parish priests. Much of the church was immediately demolished. The site and surrounding lands were leased to John Howard in 1558. Around this time the monastic buildings were also dismantled. Only the prior's lodging was saved. It remained in use as a house well into the 17th century. In 1615 the Castle Acre property was owned by the lawyer and politician Sir Edward Coke, whose family still own it today.